Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. So if you look into the book of Exodus, after experiencing the greatest miracle of all times, namely the splitting of the sea, chapter 14, let's take verse 30. It says, and God delivered Israel that day from the Egyptians. Israel saw the Egyptians as they died on the shore of the sea. In the next verse it says, and when Israel saw the wondrous miracles, the wondrous power, the strong hand which God had exacted over the Egyptians, they all feared God and they believed in God and in his servant Moses. And then it continues and it says, Az Yashir Moshe, then Moses and the children of Israel sang in this beautiful poem, this beautiful song to God, exalting God's name and expressing their gratitude for all the miracles, both in that time and even in the future. Prophetically, they included all the miracles of the future. Now, there's something very interesting. In Jewish tradition, as you know, Jews pray 3 times a day. In the morning prayer, which happens to be the longest one, there's a lot of what I would call prep that leads up until the main part of the prayer, which is typically the Amidah, the silent prayer, or as we call it, the Shemona Esrei, the 18 blessings, which are really 19. As part of that, which is really all to build up a momentum and to stimulate the excitement, the person's awareness and emotions and passion towards God. So when we reach that climax, that place in the prayer, that intimate part, this silent prayer, we're that all on fire, we're all alive and close to Hashem, close to God. One of the things we recite every morning, without fail, whether it's weekday, whether it's the Sabbath, whether the holiest day of the year, Yom Kippur, is this song right here, beginning with chapter 15, verse 1, and going all the way till the end of the song, until and including verse 19. Now, the question is, why do we recite this every morning? What really is the message here for the person? Of course, we recite it to remember the miracle of the past. But it can't be just that, because how many times do you have to remember the past? Remember, worshiping God, serving God is an active thing. It's not just something you just remember the past and commemorate what happened in the past, but rather what's happening now in the present. What's the message for the present, for the current experience that the person's going through? Well, the answer is, or one of the many answers, you see, too often, too many of us wait for that special miracle to occur, that earth-shattering event to occur to remind us that God's in charge. And really, that's the purpose of a miracle. The purpose of a miracle is that God shows us from time to time that he is directly involved. He is the one who's calling the shots. He is the one who's controlling everything. Typically, when you look at nature, you don't see it. When you look at the norms of the day-to-day, it seems like the world's running itself. And perhaps one can easily forget that there is a master to all of this. There is someone who controls all of this, and that's God himself. So from time to time, a miracle occurs, and that takes us out of the ordinary. That lifts us above the norm, and that reminds us God's in charge. The message that we tell ourselves every morning when we read this song is we tell ourselves, don't wait for that extraordinary, earth-shattering miracle to happen in order to remember, in order to reflect on the fact that God is in charge. He's the one who's running everything. He's the one who's controlling all the events that we see around us. Rather, we try to remind ourselves that even when just the regular day-to-day is occurring, God is also there. In fact, as the sages in the Talmud tell us, the truth is that one has to be thankful for miracles each and every single day. So many miracles occur to us. So many miracles happen in our lives. It's just that we don't see it. And that is the point. Just because I didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Just because I don't see God running the world, I don't see that extraordinary miracle, doesn't mean it didn't happen. So in short, it's not a bad idea, I think, for everyone, even Bnei Noach, to read these verses every day and to reflect on it for a moment. Hey, God's in charge. Everything's happening because of his will. He is the one who calls the shots. He is the one who's making the decisions. And certainly if he's doing so, only good things are happening.